everyone, I'm Mind, and I just got another issue of the LEGO Ninjago Magazine. This month's issue comes with a Climber Cole minifigure, which is one of the most exciting ones yet. Climber Cole, of course, only comes in one set, and I think it's easily the worst set of that wave, and he's the only exclusive minifigure in that set, so it's very exciting to finally have another way to get him. So now, if you want to complete the line of Climber Ninja, you no longer have to get that set. If you're in a country where this magazine is offered, you could just get this instead. And then this is also a magazine issue that comes with a bonus minifigure. If you guys don't know how the bonus minifigure works, basically they have leftover stock from previous magazines that didn't sell. So every now and then you'll get an extra minifigure with the magazine at no extra cost. I believe that's only a thing with the English magazines and not with like the German ones. And the big thing is the bonus minifigure is not guaranteed like what minifigure it's gonna be. Depending on what store you buy it in, where you order it from, and just like what they have available, you could get the same bonus minifigure as me or a different one. In my case, I ended up getting Scuba Kai this time around, which is interesting to say the least. I believe he's the rarest scuba suit aside from Nia, right? He only came in the two big sets from that wave. And also it's kind of cool to get a scuba ninja in general, because what, that wave is 3 years old at this point. But still, that's probably far from my #1 pick for bonus minifigure. Would have preferred something else, like maybe one of the Crystallize minifigures. They did all the Golden Dragon Ninja in the magazines, and I would have loved an extra of any of them. But this is fine. I mean, it's a bonus. I'll take it. And it's also far from the worst I could have gotten. But anyway, we'll take a look at both minifigures at the end of this video. For now, let me remove them so we can take a look at the full cover of the magazine. But before we get into this, there's one other thing I want to talk about, and that's Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. Because that season is not supposed to come out until October. That was just announced that the official release date is in October. However, in case you guys didn't know, the streaming service Peacock accidentally released the entire thing a couple of days ago. I bought a Peacock subscription, I did watch the entire thing, and then it was taken down like 9 hours later because it wasn't supposed to be out. So as such, now I, and many of the people watching, now know what happens in Ninjago Dragons Rising Season 2 Part 2. And of course, the details of the magazine like tie into the show. But I also know not everybody got a chance to watch the season yet, so I genuinely want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments, do you want me to talk about Season 2 Part 2, or would you rather I not talk about it until October? Because that's the only reason I haven't done like a full season review yet. I really want to talk about this season, like I really enjoyed it, but since it hasn't been officially released and like not everybody's gotten to see it, I don't know if it's better to wait until everyone actually has. So yeah, please let me know in the comments, would you rather I wait until October or start talking about it now? For this video though, I'm going to try to avoid spoilers. If I talk about any spoilers, I will warn you before saying them, so that way you could skip ahead in the video. But now with all that out of the way, here's the full cover. You can see it says LEGO Toy Ninja Cole plus 2 huge hammers, LEGO Toy Cole plus 2 massive hammers, whack. Lost in Space, help Kai complete the creepy maze. So this does take place between parts 1 and 2. We have some epic ninja posters, design your dream dragon, it's time for Spinjitzu, can Lloyd and the ninja escape the administration? Another administration comic, that's actually pretty exciting. So now let's open this up and see what it has in store. There's an advertisement for the Climber mech as we've seen recently, and then here's the table of contents. Our Master of the Month is Zane, which I'm very happy to see. They've been doing these every single month, talking about a different elemental master. Some have been the main characters, some have been just like obscure ones from Tournament of Elements. But this time around, Zane gets the spotlight. Name Zane, Element Ice. As a seasoned elemental master, Zane always keeps his cool. But don't let his calm mood fool you. When things get heated, he is ready to turn his opponents into crushed ice with his precise ice beams and devastating blizzards. And of course, he can rank his power, and say which situation do you think his elemental power is the most helpful. Now let's turn to the next page, and this is the bio page on the Cole minifigure. Cole's of course saying his iconic line, "Nobody can handle these hammers but me!" Stronger than ever. After the merge, Cole and his new friend Jijio, Bonzel, and the Finders settle down in the land of lost things. There he learns of a new power. He can cover his body with stone armor and transform himself into a terrifying golem. Hunted, this power is desperately needed in this harsh and wild wasteland. First it is hunted by a giant garbage golem, the Hoarder, and just as the beast is tame, a pack of wolves arrive with even worse intentions. On a mission, they are after Cole's new skeleton friend Bonzel. She holds the secret to releasing the Forbidden Five. To protect her and the Fangs, Cole and Zane go on a wild adventure in search of the sorceress Gondolaria. Then on this page we have a Ninjago roulette wheel. Not something I ever expected to see, but I suppose that's cool. And then of course the instructions to build a minifigure and its accessories. Next, we have Cloud Kingdom Cleanup. After the Blood Moon Ritual, Roz and his pack of baddies have left the Cloud Kingdom in shambles. Some things are still out of place. Help the ninja clean up this mess. And this just looks like a series of different games. Here you gotta color in the books to match the pattern, and decode a secret message. Here you gotta figure out which direction to spin these gears, and then you also have to search for graffiti. Let's turn the page once again. This game is called Case Closed. Agent J has a secret. When his colleague's not looking, he uses his elemental power to destroy old files. But he has to be careful not to destroy the wrong ones. Can you help him? And it looks like you have to destroy anything with these symbols on it. By the way, this graphic of Jay looks surprisingly like really cool. They've got him in his administration outfit, but with like a spectral like lightning ninja behind him. I would love if that's like a poster in a future magazine. That's really cool for just like the background of a game. Then there's a coloring page for a dragon, and I believe that's the core fire dragon that's based off of. Turning the page once again, we are at the comic. So, as always with the comic, I'm not going to read the entire thing to you guys, but feel free to pause the video and read it for yourself. And if I notice anything especially funny or interesting, I will stop the video and point it out. So this one is titled Agents All Around, and this actually takes place at the same time as last month's comic. That one followed Cole, Zane, and Gondolaria on Jiro, so I guess we're seeing what the other ninja were up to during that time. I love the variety in the administration agents. There's a Mango Whipper, which makes me very happy to see, as well as Spitta, who has not been one in the show. I miss all the different Serpentine, man. I don't like how in Dragon's Rising there's just only Hypnobrai. I mean, that was the case in seasons 11 through 15 too, but I really liked in the Wolfhelm era where we would see like all 5 tribes even outside of season 1. I'm glad the comics at least keep them around. So the administration wants to take the ninja in for questioning, but the ninja don't really want to. But then they take some of Sora's mech, and she's like, hey, why are you taking my mech? I love the way this guy's drawn, by the way. This is so awesome. Agent Farbacina is the Mango Whipper. I expect a Ninjago wiki page on that character if there's not one already. Incredibly important. So Lloyd, Nia, and Sora follow the arm into the administration, but unfortunately Aaron and Ryu can't get through. And then Lloyd's like, hey, let's do Spinjitzu, and Sora's like, I can't do that! And then, uh-oh, we're at the break in the comic, and it's going to continue on page 22. In the meantime, what do we have? We have Let Off Some Smoke. This one you just have to spot the villains that you could see in the background in smoke. They've got some questions about them down here. And then we have the posters in the center. This first one's a picture of Mech Suit Jay, and it says, once a ninja, always a ninja. That's a very funny caption to have with Jay of all ninja, because I would argue when he's in the administration and he doesn't have any memories, no, he's probably not a ninja. And this is a non-canon suit to the show, obviously. But the actual graphic here is really cool. I love the colors. The orange background with the blue ninja looks amazing. I don't love the filter they put on Jay, and this is something that bothers me that they always do. This is basically just like a PixArt filter. Like, I'm pretty sure I could make this on my phone over top of an official render, and I think just using the official render would look better. The filters just, I don't know, rarely make things look good. If you drew an original piece of art in this style, it could be cool, but obviously I don't expect that for the posters in a magazine like this. Just throwing a filter over a render, though, I don't know, in my opinion, it just doesn't look good at all. But the text is laid out nice and I like the colors. So even with the filter, honestly, this is a pretty good one. But then here's the alternate side, and this is definitely way, way cooler. Just says Ninjago Dragon's Rising, and it's got all of our villains on it. This is the kind of poster that I love. All of the villains are in the same exact art style. This looks like it could be an official poster for the show, and actually it might be. I don't know if I've seen it outside of the magazine before, but it looks super cool. Definitely one of the best ones we've gotten recently. Also, Cinder looks awesome doing Shatter Spin. But now back to the magazine, we have Lost! And that's just a maze. And then here we have a Spot the Differences game for the 4+ Fire Dragon. Then turning to the next page, we are back to the comic. Alright, they get the mech arm back. I continue to love how the snake is illustrated. Look at this character. That little face is so expressive, and they look like almost dinosaur-like right here. But yeah, they get the mech arm back, and now they have to escape by opening a portal, and they want Sora to use their elemental power to do it. Oh wow, and Jay's the one giving the announcement. He actually looks really cool with those sunglasses. We didn't see that in the show. And then Nia and Lloyd use a Rising Dragon technique, which seems very dramatic for the administration. But sure, why not? I mean, the art is really cool. I really like how that's depicted in 2D. Alright, and Sora does the thing, opens a portal, they get out, and they meet back up with Aaron and Ryu. I enjoyed this comic overall. It's cool to see the administration. They've been doing the administration a lot in these comics recently, but I think this is one of the better ones. It was cool to see Jay, if even for a moment, and there are some cool character moments in here, even if them using Rising Dragon technique in the middle of the administration doesn't make the most sense. So yeah, not the best comic by any means, but it was solid. I'm fairly happy with it. And now we're done with the comic, but we're not done with the magazine just yet. So here we have the Unsung Heroes and Villains. And this is just some information on Dorama, Mr. Frohickey, Jordana, and Geo. Okay, I just read through all of this, so I'm going to discuss some very slight spoilers for Season 2 Part 2 right now. It's not going to be a big thing because it happens within like the first 3 episodes, but if you don't want any spoilers, probably skip ahead maybe 30 to 60 seconds in the video. This is your last warning, here we go. Right here it says, did you know, after the Blood Moon ritual, something seems to have possessed Jordana, but what? That would have been very interesting to know before I watched these episodes, because of course we learned that yes, Jordana was possessed, and at the end of Season 2 Part 1, we saw that something was happening with her, but we didn't know what, but this explicitly says possessed. So that would have been really cool to theorize about if I hadn't already seen the episodes. But yeah, that shows you the value of these magazines. Sometimes they do hint things before the official episodes come out. It's just unfortunate this time around the episodes came out very, very early. Back to non-spoiler stuff though, there's nothing else too crazy happening here. It says, did you know the crossroads is full of different colored frogs? Cole once saw one that was orange. That's a very strange fact to point out, but I mean, I guess that's interesting about Frohickey. But yeah, it's cool to get all this information about the characters. It's stuff we saw in the show. Nothing new aside from the one potentially spoiler thing, but I think for kids especially, it's nice to have a resource like this. before I was old enough to, like, go to a wiki or whatever, I would love when I got media like this talking about all the different characters, especially more obscure characters like these. Let's see what's next in the magazine, though. Here we have Lost Trace in Nether Space. And this looks like a very complex game. Okay, it's actually not too bad. You have to look for these 3 symbols and then draw an aura around them depending on what symbol it is, and that will reveal a path for Kai to go to Bunzel, and then just have to count how many of each symbol there is. After that, we have What a Neat Mess. And this is a game where you have clues to find something that Aaron's looking for. Then there's a LEGO City advertisement, strangely. I mean, sure, I suppose that makes sense to some extent. And then finally, we have the advertisement for next month's magazine, and that's going to come with a Season 2 Part 1 Lord Roz minifigure. That's definitely a cool minifigure to get, because he almost exclusively comes in big sets. No, he's not the rarest minifigure in the world, because he does come in 3 sets. Right, he's in Eagle, he's in the Dragonstone Shrine, and then he's in the Wolfmask Shadow Dojo. So he is one of the more common minifigures of the January and March waves, but he's also one of the more expensive ones. So getting him for significantly cheaper is definitely nice to see, especially because he's the main villain of the series. A $5 to $10 magazine is significantly cheaper than like a $70 set. So it's not one that I'm personally looking forward to a ton just because I have a lot of that minifigure, but for people who don't have those bigger sets, that is pretty great. And then on the very last page, there is a paper airplane to cut out, and wow, I love that. I loved paper airplanes as a kid. I had a whole like paper airplane activity book, and I would spend hours upon hours like folding different like shapes of paper airplanes, throwing them around my house. So if I had a Ninjago paper airplane as a kid, I would have gone crazy for that. That's super cool. I don't think they've done that before. But I think that's about it for the actual magazine. I'll talk about it a little bit more at the end of this video, but now let's take a quick look at the minifigures that it comes with. So here are the 2 minifigures that the magazine came with all put together, and we're going to start by talking about Clamorcole, because that's the minifigure that everybody gets if they get this magazine. As I said at the beginning, very exciting to get him in general because he only does come in that 1 set. But even beyond that, this is just an amazing minifigure. His accessories are pretty cool, these like double hammers. I always really love the accessories in these magazines because they normally have like really wacky builds. These aren't like super out there, but they look really cool and honestly fit Cole quite well. But then the minifigure himself is spectacular. The climber suits are probably the most detailed armor pieces we've ever seen in Ninjago. They're dual-molded in gold in one of the ninja's colors. In Cole's case, it's gold and black, which look fantastic together. And I believe Cole's the only climber ninja where their hood matches their armor and their mask, and that makes everything flow together so nicely. Torso's super detailed too with all the climbing gear and the ropes, and I like that on Cole the ropes are actually like metallic gold. It keeps him feeling ninja-esque while obviously still loading him up with climbing gear. He also uses a little bit of dark tan for detailing, which fits the whole climber vibes but also works well with the element of earth, and that's a color I think we've seen Cole use like every now and then before, but not a ton, so it makes the suit stand out as a little more unique. And then he's got orange on the belt and orange on the undershirt, which I really love. The only part I'm not sure about is the orange arms. They maybe feel a little bit bright in comparison to everything else. Ideally, like black arms with arm printing would have looked amazing, but LEGO doesn't do that with arm printing in Ninjago sets, so I wouldn't expect that here. So orange probably is the better option as opposed to black, but either way, the figure still looks really good. That's just the only place where I think maybe it could be improved. Now, the climber suits do have space around the back to fit 2 katanas, and unfortunately Cole does not come with any katanas here. It's not the end of the world if you have literally any other Ninjago set. Katanas are very easy to get. But I know for kids especially, if you don't have a lot of Ninjago and you might just pick up this magazine as your one and only set, it's cool to have them here, and normally they do still include them, so it would have been nice to see them, but again, not the end of the world. You do still get 2 very cool weapons. There's a full look at the back torso print, which is honestly incredible. Cole's got like his Season 11 symbol right there and more of those golden ropes, and I like the little bits of metallic silver too. Those are very cool. I also really love the sort of like diamond-shaped pattern in the gray parts of the suit. That's present on the front too underneath everything, and it makes the entire minifigure feel a lot less flat. Cole's face print is just the standard Dragon's Rising face print. Front face is smiling with an open mouth, which looks amazing, and the alternate face is the Dragon Power face, which I mean looks cool, not really accurate to anything in the show, but hey, nice to have another option, I guess. But yeah, in general, this minifigure is great, both in terms of the actual figure and the fact that it's in such a cheap magazine. Probably my favorite magazine promo in a while. And then Scuba Kai, again, it's nice to get a bonus, but I don't have a ton to say about this one. I already reviewed him quite a few times before, both in the CBelloStudios sets when they came out and when this guy first came in a magazine. I like the metallic silver at the top for his scuba gear. That actually looks really sleek on top of the red, and the bright orange detailing is always cool in Kai suits. But yeah, this figure's not canon. The weapon's not anything too interesting, so it's nice to get him if you didn't have him yet, but I really don't have too much else to add. He's just got a standard movie face print. There's the full front torso and legs with the armor removed, and there's the back torso print too. Back torso print does honestly look really good. He uses that dark tan just like Cole uses, and I feel like that's one of the better parts of this era of Kai suits, but I don't have too much else to add in terms of him. But now, overall, would I recommend that you guys pick up this magazine? Honestly, yes. If you're in a country where these are available, 100% you should get this one. I mean, if you already have the set set that Cole comes in and you don't really want an extra, I guess you don't need this one. But at least me personally, as a collector, I love to get duplicates of figures if I can. So having a super cheap way to get this guy without buying an extra of that set's incredible. And if you don't have this minifigure yet, yeah, this is much preferable to buying that full set. Bonus minifigures are always nice too. Hopefully you guys can find a cooler one than Scuba Kai. Though not like Scuba Kai's bad. Again, he did only come in big sets. It's just what, he came in 2 sets, then I already got him once in a magazine, and now I have 1 more here, so that's a total of 4. And he's not even canon to the show, so I never even felt like I needed 4 of him. And beyond that, the actual magazine itself is solid. Like, not one of the best, but far from the worst. Posters are pretty solid this time around. I really like the villains one, and the J one was alright. The comic was fun, again, nothing too wild, but I enjoyed it. Some cool character moments. And then the games and activities seemed pretty solid. They've been more unique as of, like, the last year. They're not just, like, the same thing over and over again. I especially like the paper plane at the back. That's a lot of fun. So, of course, minifigures are the most important thing, and the minifigure in this one's great. But even beyond that, there's a lot of stuff to enjoy in this magazine. So yes, 100% I'd recommend it. This is a very solid one. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it and subscribe to my channel if you're new. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!